Hi everyone, it's Miss Love and I'm here to help you with your maths today. I'm going to show you how to use all the exciting resources that we sent home in your pack. But first, let's count to 10. Are you ready? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10.
First, let's have a look inside the envelope. In the envelope, there are lots of resources for counting. You have some counters, and then you have some cards. On some of the cards, there are numerals, so let's separate them. Here are the numerals. And then you have what we call subitizing spots. These look a little bit like domino dots or dice. The first thing we're going to do is do some ordering. So get out the subitizing spots first and spread them out so your child can see all of the different numbers. Then what we want to do is start counting. So the children will tell you start with 0, which means nothing. Then we need to find number 1. So 1, 2, 3. No, that's the number 3. What about this one? 1, 2. Is it this one? 1, 2? No. Aha. Look, this one. It's the number 1. We're going to put it down. So we've got 0, then 1. Your child might like to use their fingers to help them. So 1, 2. Okay, so we're looking for a card that has 2 spots on it now. 1, 2, 3. No. How about this one? 1, 2. Yes, that's 2. So let's put it next to number 1. So 0, 1, 2. Oh, what would be next? Remember, we start with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're looking for a card with 3 spots. Here we go. So what you want your child to do now is continue the process up until 5. If they are struggling and they haven't got to 5 yet, it's a good time to stop. There's no point continuing on till 10 if they are struggling at 5. So keep practicing going up to 5, and then once they get the hang of it, you can increase the numbers and go up to 10. When you finish sequencing the subitizing dots, we're going to need those numerals. And what we're going to do is we're going to match the numeral to the right dot. If you only manage to do it up to 5, that's fine. You can match the numerals up to 5. If you manage to go all the way to 10, that's great. You can match the numerals all the way up to 10. When the children are matching the numerals to the quantity, it's a good time to trace over the numeral. And remember, we always start at the top. So 0, let's find the next one, number 1. So again, number 1, we start at the top and we go down. So checking 1, 2, so we're looking for the numeral 2. Is this 2? No, that's 3. Here's number 2, so again, start at the top. We're going around, down and across. Number 2. So let's count them again. 0, 1, 2. What's next? 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, it's the numeral 3. So let's trace over it, starting at the top, round and around. So just like before, you need to continue on until you get to 5. If you find your child is struggling to remember what the numerals look like up to 5, then this is a good time to stop. If, however, your child was fine going up to 5, it's now a good time to introduce the rest of the numerals up to 10. They might need a little bit of help, but it's really important that they do the work. In your pack, you also received these 2 pieces of paper. These are what we call Numicon. In school, we have these as plastic pieces of Numicon that the children can use, so they are familiar with the shapes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then all the way up to 10. What I would suggest you do is that you cut out all of the pieces of Numicon. Once you've cut out all the pieces of Numicon, you can order them again, starting with 0, and then 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 5. Of course, if your child can do it easily up to 5, you can then move on to 10. What you need to do now is match the numerals to the piece of Numicon. Once you've ordered them, then you can count them. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. As you go along, it's nice to get your children to show you the numbers using their fingers. So you can ask them to show me the number 5 and they'll show you 5. Show me number 3, so they might show you 3 fingers. Encourage them to count each time. You can also ask them to show you 3 in a different way, so they might show you 2 and 1. Then if you ask them to show you 4 in a different way, they might show you 4, or they might show you 3 and 1. They might show you 2 and 2. It's also really good to practice using the numerals one at a time and asking the children to show you that numeral in lots of different ways. So here I'm showing you 5 with 5 fingers, 5 subitizing spots, 5 piece of Numicon, and then I'm also going to count out 5 counters. It's really useful to do this with the numerals that your children are struggling with. So if they don't recognise the number 6, you could practice making 6 lots of times, and then eventually they will remember that that numeral means 6. You may also want to use the Numicon to help your children recognise one more or one less. So here I've got 3 pieces and I'm going to give them one more. So now let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see that first I had 3. 1 more than 3 is 4. Okay, so now we're going to use 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more. Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 more than 5 is 6. You can also use the counters to practice one more. So you can have 3 counters and then you give them one more. And then let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 more than 3 is 4. As well as practicing one more, it's also important to practice using the language of one less. So this time I'm going to give you 5 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one less. So what we have to do is we take one away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 less than 5 is 4. Finally, the last activity you were given was a sheet with snakes and lots of spots. Now it can look confusing, but all we're wanting the children to do is practice repeating patterns. So as you can see, it goes red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. And all your children have to do is find those 2 colours if you have them at home. And then they need to continue that pattern. So let's use our pens. Red, blue, red, blue, red. What will be next? That's right, it's a blue one. So we're going to draw a blue spot. And then you can repeat this process again. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. What's next? That's right, it's a red. The children then need to continue the pattern all the way to the end of the snake. And finally, after speaking to lots of parents on the phone, they were confused about this little blue book. You can use this book for writing. You can use this book for practicing drawing numerals. You might even want to use this book to practice the repeating patterns that you've just done on the snake. It's really up to you. Remember, if you need any more help, please email me and Miss Linus at ourhomework@newbie.bradford.sch.uk.